Okay, we are now live, guys. We are live. So, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are live now. We are live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube also as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Simply Together show on Tuesday, the 25th of October. And as you can see, we have two awesome guests. When I say in the studio, you guys know what I'm talking about, in the studio. So welcome, give it up for the wonderful Finn Kennedy we have. And we also have the wonderful Jordan Thomas in the house. People are going like, oh, recognise him. Jordan, I'm going to get you to sit tight for just a bit, if that's okay. I am going to have a little chat with Finn.
Hello.
Hey, Finn.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. I'm excellent on this awesome day. It's sunny outside. It's probably a bit chilly, but I've not even ventured out there as yet. I know you've not been on the show previously before, so I do give you massive, massive welcome. So we're talking and we're beaming to, apparently last time we had something like, I think it was just under 1 million viewers.
Wow, blimey.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Trust me, Finn, I was kind of shocked also as well. So those that are watching, please send some love. Obviously, you've got the opportunity to ask your questions also in the chat. Finn, just tell the guys just a little bit about yourself and also what you get up to, please, because I know you've got so much going on.
Yeah, I do. So I'm a playwright and producer and also a sound artist. So I run a digital production company called Applied Stories. And I've been doing quite a lot of work in Luton recently, testing out an idea for a new arts and culture project, which has got an event coming up, a live in-person event this Sunday, which I wanted to pop on and invite everyone to, but which is also like the end of a pilot. So there's an opportunity to get a bit more involved. So what Applied Stories does is we make place-based audio drama. So that's stuff that's designed to be listened to through these, but in a certain location. And it's scripted, story-based stuff, but that's inspired by real life and co-created with me and sometimes some other writers, and usually communities or sometimes young people if it's in schools, and always performed by communities as well. So the project we've been doing in Luton has been called Museum of Stories. And it's an idea that will eventually be an app-based walking tour of Berry Park in Luton. So you'll open a map and you'll have pins on Dunstable Road where you have to walk to find all these stories. And then you pop your headphones in and listen to them. And all the stories have been made by local people who either currently live or have lived or have some connection to Berry Park. I've been working with Shamiza Rashid, who some of you will know, brilliant local co-producer of mine and brilliant artist and writer and director. And about a year ago, we got a bit of funding from Revolution Arts to test this idea out. And we opened a phone line, which anyone could ring, and advertised it in local Luton press and on radio. And the idea is anyone can ring this story hotline and leave a story about anything in any language, as long as it's related to something to do with Berry Park. And we got some amazing submissions. We got a local historian calling up about when the Marquis of Bute sold off his farmlands to make Berry Park. It was obviously originally farmlands, and it got bought up and turned into sort of light industrial and then residential area. We got stories from World War II about a V2 rocket, German rocket that dropped on Berry Park Post Office. People still remember that. Lots of people sadly were killed and injured, but lots of others had a lucky escape. We got various stories about the building of Berry Park Mosque, which at the time was one of the biggest in Europe. And obviously the community tensions around this sort of, 70s, 80s and into the 90s a bit. But the idea that we ended up, because we got a little bit of funding to make one of these stories. Eventually it'll be about 10 little audio stories. but so far we've made one, and it's called Seeing Clearly, and it was inspired by another local personality, Sandra Glenn, who I'm sure many of you will know, who rang up and with all kinds of memories. I mean, Sandra is a whole, like, she's got so many stories. She's brilliant. But the one that really inspired us all was linked to Alders Opticians, which is still there. It's changed its name. It's called Alexandra Opticians now, but everyone still calls it Alders. It's really historic local business, been there since 1905. Sandra remembers in the 1960s getting her first set of glasses there, age 7. And she told us this lovely story. I popped into the opticians to tell them that we were planning on making this, and they were so supportive and excited. The current owner, Dr. Alvey, bought the business from Percy Alder's grandson, who was retiring. And he sees himself as a kind of custodian of the history of this business. So you go into the back room, there's like pictures of Alders up and through the ages from the kind of 1920s onwards. Anyway, we made this 10-minute piece about Sandra's memory. I co-wrote it with one of the other community members who contributed to the phone line. Sandra herself was in it, playing her own mum, and we found a local schoolgirl, Daisha Badu, then aged 12, to play young Sandra. So all the parts were not professional actors. They were all, in fact, I was in it myself. I'm not an actor either. And it's a really lovely piece called Seeing Clearly, which was just testing out this idea of a kind of community-sourced story hotline. Along the way, we uncovered loads of other stories, one of which was an amazing ghost story. Turns out Alders is haunted. I don't know how many people know this. Dr. Alvey told me the most amazing true ghost story. He's actually encountered this ghost. It's a ghost of a little girl. And it seems to be quite a happy ghost, unusually. I'm not going to say much more than that, because this event on Sunday, we will be sharing Dr. Alvey's version of that story. So what we're doing is Alders is opening specially on Sunday afternoon, this Sunday, 30th of October at 3 p.m. I'll put a link in the chat. It's free tickets to book on Eventbrite. It's a listening party. So we'll all be going into the shop, sitting down, plugging these in, listening to some of the voicemail messages that we got through the Museum of Stories phone line. Then we'll listen to Seeing Clearly in full, which is about 10 minutes, and then about another 5 minutes for the ghost story. And then a bit of a chat with me and some of the other people involved, question and answer about the project. But also, I'm at the point now where I've tested this out and I think it's really promising. And I want to make a much bigger version of it and finish building this walking tour of Stillwell up and down Dunstable Road. So this is an opportunity to come along, have a chat, have your say. If you've got a brilliant story, you can tell us that as well on the Sunday. I'll have my microphone. But what then I need to do is, after that event, is I want to kind of show that there's a lot of excitement locally on the ground about this idea. And then I'll go away and apply to the Arts Council for some more funding to reopen the phone line and make more of these little mini dramas. And also build the app, because that's the main part is we've got the support of Luton Council. Obviously, it's good for the area to have people coming and visiting and walking up and down and stopping in cafes and spending a bit of money post-COVID, etc. I know there's a lot of efforts to kind of get people out and doing that kind of thing. Plus, I don't think anyone's ever tried anything exactly like this before. The idea is that the Museum of Stories, it won't be like a physical museum, because the museum's already there. It's the street itself, it's the gallery. And the stories of the exhibits, which you would walk up and down listening to. So that's the idea. If you're around on Sunday afternoon, hello, I've got a little 4-year-old joining me. Do you want to say hello, Remy? Then say hello. Do you give him a wave?
That's what happens at half term, guys.
Yeah, that is what happens at half term. Anyway, Dee, if I put a link in the chat to book free tickets, it says private chat, but will that come up for everyone?
No, it won't. Not
if I go into comments,
yes, it will in comments. Yes.
I can't see a. I can see everyone else's comments, but I can't see how I can leave one.
Okay, so if you do it in the private, and then
if I can you copy it over?
Producer will just bring that up. So if you see what's scrolling on the bottom there, yeah.
So I've just sent it to you in the private chat. That's the Eventbrite link. So like I said, yeah, it's free, only lasts an hour. It's a really it'll be a nice insight into all the work we've been doing and what we learned on the pilot. I'm really hoping actually we'll be joined by Jackie Gunn, who's the local historian who rang up, because she has, since we found this ghost story, she has been looking into the actual history of like who lived at the property around 1905, and she reckons she's found who it might have been, who this ghost of this little girl, which lots of people have seen at Alders, might actually have been. So I'm hoping she'll be there in person and can tell us a bit more about that. I've been astonished, really, just by scratching the surface of an area, how much is there, just the richness of it, going back, over a couple of hundred years in some cases.
Wow.
And so what I would like to work towards is a mixture of historical stories, but also contemporary ones told by, living people about more recent events. And that you'll be able to go and do the walking tour because it's digital. It will live in the cloud. You can go and download the app and go and do it at a time of your convenience. But you can also hold live events around it as well. So we can do timed walks together in groups and then have a chat about it afterwards. Luton Council's Heritage Department has been very supportive and are super interested for obvious reasons. People are saying in the chat you could do it with the Hat Factory. Yeah, you absolutely could. You could do it with all kinds of buildings. I'm hoping that we'll be able to do it with lots of different buildings on one walk. And that's the idea of the pins on the map. We'll pin the stories to different buildings where these stories actually happened. We are also, I should say, with Museum of Stories, one thing I'm really interested in is giving ourselves permission to make stuff up a bit as well. So we'll start with real people's memories and stories, but I am Applied Stories. I'm a playwright. It's not a history tour or a factual heritage tour. Do you know what I mean? It's a creative arts and culture project where we're all sort of contributing ideas to a pot. Some of which will be beautifully formed, and we may well just make some memories straight off. But others, I'm really up for kind of mixing and merging them. And everybody who rings the phone line will get an invitation to form part of a community steering group to decide what we make together. So that's the idea. But I'm really hoping for a good turnout on Sunday because I really want to show the Arts Council that there's strong local demand, that people really want this, and that there's loads of other stories out there waiting to be made.
Wow. You're doing it right by Halloween as well, aren't you?
Well, that's right. Yeah, it did seem the right weekend. Yeah.
let me bring the producer on. She loves all this sort of stuff, and she's the one that's been commenting like, "Oh, how about doing it there?" I can imagine. Oh my gosh.
Hi, Shirley.
Now that she's remembered to come on.
I set it all up. What do you want more talk? With you saying about like different bits and pieces on the map, my nephews are really into I've forgotten the name of the thing now, but where you're going around particular areas and you have to walk from one point to the other, and there's little things that you have to do and stuff. To actually have something that's actually in town that you could follow around and then work out what a particular building and stuff is. I mean, my family come from Luton and they're an older family. So even as a kid, when I was growing up, knowing that building used to be so-and-so, or what that used to look like, was just amazing for me. And I said, I love local history, knowing those like little stories and stuff. And I didn't realise that Elders had actually changed name. We all still call it the same thing.
Everyone does. Yeah, everyone does. There was another amazing story that someone rang up who was the granddaughter of a lady who worked in Bury Park Post Office during World War II. And post offices were like part of the kind of war effort back then, and it was super important. And she was on her own in the post office, and she got a phone call from her daughter's school saying that her daughter had been taken ill and that she had to go and collect her. And she was really torn. She didn't know what to do because she was worried that she might get in trouble if she closed the post office down during wartime to go and get her daughter. Thank God she did, because a few minutes later, the V2 rocket dropped on the post office, and quite a few hundred, like thousands of properties were damaged or destroyed, and quite a few people killed as well. But not her. And that was this lady, Lily's grandma. And Lily wouldn't be here today if her grandma hadn't gone off to collect her daughter from school. So it's amazing the sort of mad coincidences and twists and turns of fate and people's lives, which you can kind of uncover with just asking. You just have to ask. You just have to sort of create a channel for people to send you this stuff, like a phone line. It seems to work a treat. I love what you're talking about, Shelley. I think quite often that's for the younger generation, that's done in a visual way through augmented reality, where hold your phone up and you see stuff that's not there. I love all that as well, but that's a much bigger budget. And actually audio, to my mind anyway, is kind of more immersive because it forces you to, well, don't force you, but encourages you to imagine it. And the stuff that you get on augmented reality is great, but it's often a bit cartoony or whatever, And there's something about just standing or even closing your eyes in the location where something actually happened, and allowing a brilliant sound design that's in sort of 3D. It's the nearest to time travel that you can get. And when you're doing it with friends in a group, it's really social as well, when you're not listening on your own like you would at home. So it's a bit of a hybrid project, a bit of an experiment, if I'm honest. But the pilot seems to have sort of encouraged me that it will work. So yeah, I'm hoping it will grow. Watch this space.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Finn, if you can kind of hang around, so
I will
come off screen. You can
sure.
hear about Jordan.
I'd love to. No, I'm excited.
You will be when you hear what he's up
Brilliant.
to and what he's been doing. And then we'll certainly catch up with you later, and we'll certainly be sharing on our pages about the event on Sunday. So
amazing. Thanks so much, Dee. I appreciate that.
No problem, darling. Thank you.
All right. See you shortly.
Hey, that was absolutely amazing. Hearing about that. That was great. I'm free on Sunday, so hopefully I can pop up and bring some friends and family to it as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
See, this is what we do.
Well, this is it. I think we need more of this in the community, just spread about. And I think, the more and more we support, the more and more things like this will pop up. So let's get down.
Exactly, Jordan. Exactly. So, Jordan Thomas, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
I don't know. So for the masses out there, Shelley, you've met this young man before.
Yes.
I know, because he's been on Real Talk before. He's not been on this show before. And to try and nail somebody down, you guys out there do not understand. This is one young man who is so difficult to nail down. So, as I said, welcome, Jordan Thomas. There's a few things I need to, before we even get into anything, I need to be congratulating this young man on. When did you get wed this year?
In May.
May.
Yeah, got married in May. Yeah.
So it wasn't Greece. Was it Greece?
No, it was in Lanzarote.
That's it. But overseas. Saw that. Wicked photos. Oh my gosh. You'd think you were, I don't even know. But,
it was in the caves. It was in the caves.
Yeah, it was awesome. So
it was great. It was amazing.
Massive congratulations there. So anyway, so he's busy. We get it. When I say follow, I'll proper follow you. So I know all these things following, but somehow I seem to have missed, because last week we thought he was coming on. He's like, no, Dee, I didn't think you meant last week. I'm like, okay. He goes, I can do next week. And I thought, let me check and see if we can fit him in. And obviously we have. Now, Shell, I'm not lying to you. He'll tell you if I'm lying. We're going out live to, I think it's just under 1 million viewers we've currently got, just under. So we just need one more to just tip us to the 1 million. So anyway, I messaged this guy yesterday. He said, I should be okay. And I'm like, okay. He goes, something about, what words did you use to me? Something about looking after something like.
Yeah, newborn baby, yeah.
And I'm like, what newborn baby? He goes, mine, she's 13 weeks. And I'm like, hello, I follow him. I ain't seen nothing. So humongous congratulations once again on the birth of, is it Olive?
Olive, that's
Etta.
right.
Olive
Etta.
Oh, what an awesome name.
Yeah.
And as you can see, when you guys are seeing the lovely Jordan doing that, you're thinking like, what is he doing? Pumping? He's rocking the pram.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I got the pram here. You can see it in there. Like, yeah,
he's rocking the pram. So before we even talk, I mean, in such a short space of time, this year alone, you were not single, but you weren't married, and now you're a dad. Oh my gosh!
And a change of career as well. It's been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy.
You're looking good on it. If that's crazy, you're looking good on it. Congrats.
Thank you.
Wow, all coming through for you, my love. So I don't know. I'm going to kind of hand over to you. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start?
Let's start at the beginning of the year. So at the beginning of the year, like I say, I wasn't married. I didn't have a baby. No, he was expecting. But yeah, no. The first thing for the viewers, so I'm a world and European karate champion, Team GB. Missed out on the Olympics, unfortunately. Got kicked in the last 2 seconds of my Olympic qualification and in a very important fight. and which didn't see me go to the Olympics. So I was winning that fight. In the last 2 seconds, I received a kick, and 2 seconds just wasn't enough to get them points back. She is making some noise. So after that happened, I had 6 months where, you know, it was quite difficult to process and to cope with. Obviously, you know, I've been training for the Olympics for 5 years. I'm like, you know, what do I do now? You know, which was quite hard to you know, process.
Yeah.
And then my now wife said, "Do you think you can do Taekwondo?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I could do it." She's like, "Oh, right, I just signed you up to the trial for Great Britain Taekwondo." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Okay." So in late of last year, I went to the Great Britain trial of the Taekwondo team, and there was like three stages, and I managed to pass on the 3 stages. And then I made the Great Britain team of Taekwondo. So I went from the Great Britain team of one sport, and now I'm in the Great Britain team of the of Taekwondo currently now.
How was that transition?
Difficult. It's like going to a new job and knowing nothing, absolutely nothing, learning on the job, you know, and actually doing it at the highest level as well. So getting chucked in, training with Olympic medalists, Olympic champions, world champions of their sport, and now I'm chucked into the session, and you know, the expectations of coping with that. So I had to learn very fast. So yeah, no, it you know, the transition was very hard and challenging, but you know, it was something that was what could be done, and I was capable of doing it.
What can I ask you?
Yeah.
So what time frame was this from when, you know, in the Olympics and it didn't work out to then doing the Taekwondo? What's the time frame on that?
Yeah, so I was still competing in karate from up until after post the Olympic qualification. I was still training karate and competing in karate probably up until about November.
November, what, last year?
Last year, yeah.
Right.
And then I entered the GB team in January. So 2 months, literally. And you know, before the trial, I'd done 4 weeks of Taekwondo. You know, and that was once a week. So for me, it was, you know, I'm very much a person, you know, when there's a challenge, I'm very open to it. I'm very, you know, I accept the challenge. I don't run from it, you know. I kind of thrive on that.
Yeah, that's where the adrenaline and all of that will kick. Yeah,
exactly, and that's how you learn, and that's how you change as well, and keep developing. You know, I'm very, very accepting of that, you know, and I kind of knew that I was coming into a completely different sport, but I knew that I know that I can do it, and it was kind of up to me to like open my mind. And let new stuff come in, and I was very much the oldest person going in as well. So I'm 30, so I went in. Yeah, I was like, they don't take on. But I'm an old man now in sport. In sport, I'm an old man. I'm an old man, and everybody else that they took on was about. I think the oldest one was 24, but the rest of them were 20 years and below. You know, so. For them to take on a 30-year-old, you know, they must have saw something that, you know, there was potential there, and you know, I was learning quicker than a lot of them. I was processed. So, yeah, like I say, I'm very much open to challenges, and that's how you learn, and that's how you develop. And you know, don't run from it, just accept it. So yeah, so I'm currently in the Great Britain team at this moment in time of Taekwondo.
Excuse me, sorry, sir. Do you get paternity leave?
So this is it. In high performance, it's quite difficult to say, like, you know, that it's all about having good communication, because if I don't train for 1 week, my opponents aren't stopping training, you know, they're developing. So I have a very good coach, Nelson Miller. He's from Cuba, and he's very understanding. It was almost like, right, okay, if I'm overly tired, if I've had a sleepless night, right, okay, we don't train in the morning, we train in the afternoon. if I've got, if it's, especially for the first week was very, very difficult. It was almost like, okay, if you're tired, come in. If you're not, if you feel like you can cope with the session, then we come in. But then, I was looked after. I have a very good team around me, very good support system from a psychologist. Yeah.
I've got to put my hand up.
No,
Can you
go ahead.
just, as in like, you don't need to go into everything, but in terms of, I think it's really important for people to understand. I think it doesn't matter whether you're in sport or
100.
just in life in general, the people around you and the support around you. How important is that?
This is so important. And yeah, again, even if you take the sport into it, it's about getting you right. So forget about sporting wise. You actually have to focus on yourself first, and the people that you have around you, you actually take some of the energy. And for me personally, I surround myself with, we have some, I don't know if I touched on this last time, we have dream supporters and dream stealers, right? And some people don't even know that they're dream stealers. You want people, you don't need critics all the time. You don't need people judging you all the time. When somebody's doing well, do you need somebody who's around you who's happy to see you do well, happy to see you thrive, happy to see you go further, and it's quite hard to kind of put them boundaries and walk away from certain people. But, if you want to live a happy life, if you have a goal and you want to reach that goal, and you have to make them decisions to kind of walk away from them dream stealers and go towards them dream supporters. And sometimes it's difficult to know who they are, because sometimes you get caught up in a little bubble, and you don't know until you come out of that bubble. But that's why it's important to kind of surround yourself with them right people to make you see that you are on the right track. You can do it. Yeah, whether you're in the place that you want to be right now, whether the place, they're still, them people are still there. When I lost that Olympic qualification, half of them people was not there. The people that were around me, not thinking that I was going to get to the Olympics, sponsorships here, money here, they all wanted to be a part of it. But as soon as I didn't make the Olympics, half of them people were not around. So yeah, it's very important to have a strong support network.
Thank you. It was important. Is that my Olive?
Yeah, she's got her eyes closed, but she's making noise now. So you might see her in a sec.
Still here. Yay! That would be absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
That would be. There's me. You said like, oh, she'll probably be sleeping. I'm like, oh, I want her to be awake. I want to see her. I want us to see, but no.
Just seeing a comment there about the dream stealers and dream supporters. Dream stealers, they can be the people who are closest to you. They can be your brother, they can be your sister, they can be your mom, your dad, but they don't particularly know that they are being a dream stealer. But you have to kind of recognize that, and you cope with that, and kind of you have to respond to that in a way that you can kind of see past that and still get to your dream, still get to, you have to kind of, I think it's recognizing, that's the word. You have to recognize that you have these dream stealers around and be able to cope with that.
And you have people that may see these things and may try to tell you, but you yourself have to recognize that. It's as in like when like my sons were like growing up, and I remember when I was growing up, we were told there's friend and friend.
And you are known,
and you are also known by the company that you keep.
Yes.
So it's very much kind of, because certain people, and like, you would, as I call it, like swear down, they're this, they're that, and the other. And as you said, when your back's against the wall, or when it's really time for you to
want to be a part of it. Yeah.
It's like, and it's like, okay, you've shown me.
Yeah.
And you thank them, I thank them.
Exactly. I was about to say the same thing. I was like, that's okay. I just know who you are now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's it. And you keep it moving. You keep
Yes.
it moving.
Yes.
Oh,
Exactly.
wow.
Yeah, that's exactly the words of that. Yeah, so from that now, obviously I got married as well, which was amazing, in Lanzarote, in the caves. It was my wife's childhood holiday destination, and she obviously used to visit there, and we kind of looked in to see if we can get married in the caves. And once that happened, I was like, right, let's make that happen. But yeah, and then little Olive arrived in July, and yeah, so that's quite, even though it's challenging, even though it's tiring, it's the most rewarding thing. And yeah, it's kind of put everything in perspective for me as well. It's kind of just, you know, I'm always surprised how much, it kind of, you can always change, and how much it gives you, and how much, like, there's always more to life. Like, I'm always like, as I'm getting older, there's always something more and interest. It's I'm loving I'm love getting getting going, having a birthday, and another year, because I'm always excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
I love it. I love learning, man. Yeah.
The same here, because people like going, when you get to a certain age, I remember back in the day, I was probably in my teens, when you're 30, you're proper old.
Yeah.
I thought when you were 30, you were proper old. And then guess what? I hit 30 and I'm like, I'm nothing. Hit 40,
Yeah.
I'm nothing. 50, I'm nothing. And
Yeah.
just count the blessings. And the blessings just get, I think as you get older, if you kind of, you understand yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and you acknowledge the good stuff about yourself, yay, and maybe the things that you can work on improving,
Yeah.
and you acknowledge those things, and then do you know what, you just it's
And then
beautiful.
I enjoy exploring that. It's just, I don't think there's anything greater. I really enjoy exploring life. How far can I push myself, and where can I go? That's always like who I've been. I've been very competitive, but I've always loved exploring who I am. And that's one thing that I said, like, you can, when, as I'm a world champion, I'm a world and European champion, one of the best that has been in Great Britain. And but literally, what I say, when you walk into a warm-up area of and a sporting event, and you go into the warm-up area, and somebody don't know anything about your sport, and you go, right, look to see if you could see who's the world champion in this room. And that person will be like, oh, but he looks good. He looks good. Ah, look at that person. That looks good. Right? But everybody's a world champion in the warm-up area. And I always say, to become a world champion, it's character. It's about knowing who you are. How far can you push yourself? Do you believe that you can do this? And you don't know all them things unless you don't know yourself. So getting you right to do that is the first thing. There's no point training 10 hours, through 4 or 5 hours a day. There's no point working 9 till 6 or 9 till 9 if you don't know who you are. Because when your back's up against it, the person who's going to get you out of that is the only person is you.
Oh, absolutely love that. We've got our producer Shelley that is just finding information on you and just letting the people know you're not just, we don't just have anybody, yourself included, Finn, on the show. Everybody, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you're doing, everybody is bringing something. Mm-hmm. Because some people are like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that, and I'm no good at this and I'm no good at that. Everybody has something.
Totally agree.
Everybody has something. We're all here for a reason and a purpose. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's hard to know what that is. And people are going through life and, oh, I can't do this and I can't that. But everybody has something. If you were to ask a friend, your friend will tell you 10 things. You're struggling to find 2 things to say about yourself, but your friends will find loads. And we are hard on ourselves, aren't we?
I totally agree. And when the path seems impossible, You know, it's very much, you know, important to kind of persist and carry on, because it seems impossible until it becomes possible. And that's shown in life. You know, you could probably self-reflect and be like, actually, I've done that. Actually, I've done that. Wow, I've done that. I've done that. And to somebody else, it's like, that's impossible. How did you do that? No, like, it is possible. You know, you can do it. There's a light in everybody.
Ah, loving it. Jordan Thomas, we've only scratched some stuff. You're not gone quite yet. Not gone quite yet. Shell, I'm going to bring you to say what you've posted on there, because as I said, everybody's got something. Yeah, she's thinking, why? And she's put, I'm good at baking and cuddles.
Yes, love that. Love that.
But this is what I'm saying. So everybody's good at, we are.
Yeah.
And, you know, we more so need to be saying whatever that is, and not feeling like, well, mine isn't anything compared to what you're saying that you do. Yes, it is.
It is, because even if yours is, you know, comforting somebody else and being that person that makes them feel good about themselves, that's a skill in itself. That's a very special thing, and not everybody has that. You know, where being able to be in a room and, you know, light up everybody's faces. That's enough. You know, that's you. That's like, you know, embrace that.
Exactly that. And our Nike, who is part of the Simply Deez crew and is actually one of the co-hosts, I'm good at eating. Exactly. Exactly that. We all have skills. Jordan, because of time constraints, please tell us what's happening in December.
Yeah, so in December, so my many ventures of this year, I have a seminar. So I'm there's a UK seminar held in the Olympic Centre in Manchester. You can hear my baby crying now. The Olympic Centre in Manchester, and I'm bringing a seminar on basically a seminar how to win and fighting tactics, and to improve the sport in general of karate. So I'm just using my knowledge and bringing everyone together, and my limited knowledge. But at the same time, around this, there'll be many more dates. So I'm traveling to a lot of primary schools and high schools and corporate companies. Just basically what we kind of touched on before is sometimes the path seems impossible until it becomes possible. And I would like to help some people to say, nah, it's possible. Give them that chance.
Well, I'm very much kind of one of them people that just can't help people on the spot. Which is kind of been trying to get hold of you, but you know, I get it.
Yeah.
So I know. Do you live in Manchester then, or is that just where you're doing it?
So I live in Manchester for the Olympic, because the Olympic Centre's up here.
Yeah.
But I'm regularly, obviously, my whole family is from Luton. So I am down there maybe 2-3 times a month, seeing family and friends. You know, we're you know, my nan, my granddad, my mum, you know, my dad. You know, my family life is in Luton, so I'm back regularly. I still say that's home.
Nice. I'm putting you on the spot, but you don't need to answer me now, because I know I'm putting you on the spot. But the 26th of November, we, as in Simply Deez, will be hosting I think it's the 7th year of International Men's Celebration. Did you know there's an International Men's Day?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
That's
but
the 19th.
It's not well advertised, is it?
No, it's not. And not just advertised. There's not many things that happen. It's like,
that's true.
International Women's Day, yay!
Yes.
And we as women expect you guys to support us and to do all of that stuff. And when it comes to men, it's very much kind of shrug our shoulders a bit.
Yes.
And that was kind of acknowledged, as I said, several years back. And for 7 years now, every year, obviously COVID, we just went online. We don't stop.
Wow.
We don't stop. But an international men's. So we kind of we're getting a building. We do the building bit. It's actually at Future's house in Luton, Future's house, Marsh Farm.
Yeah,
and
I know.
We have speakers.
Okay.
And my son Jordan this year is going to be hosting. He's
I know Jordan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. He's gonna be co-hosting with another young man called Wes. And
Okay.
yeah, and like Jermaine Hall,
Yeah.
directional, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Jermaine comes down. So we have exhibitors.
Okay. Okay. In fact, I actually think that I am down that weekend. So,
Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry
no,
now.
no, I actually think I am. So on the 23rd, because I'm actually doing high school and primary school talks on during that week. So that weekend I should be free. I should be free. So let me check. I'll get back to you. I'll do
Please
it
do,
after this. Yeah, yeah.
because we would absolutely love, and there's so many
I would
previous
love it.
ones, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just it's not just men are doing the talking,
Okay.
because apparently men don't talk. And
Yeah.
we get that and we understand that, but we are telling you, and we're telling the masses out there, we are up to 1 million now. Shell's just told me we're up to 1 million viewers
Hey,
now.
wow.
We're up to our 1 million now, and we're throwing it out there, and we're inviting everyone. Now, when we do events, we want it to be all inclusive. So when we say all inclusive, it is free. So people are not paying to come in to get information. So we have service providers, whether it's mental health, whether it's prostate cancer, whether it's diabetes, it doesn't matter we've got lots of different service providers that are going to be there. We've also got young people, older people that have got their own businesses. We've got our 9-year-old Kashai, who has got his own lemonade business.
Okay.
9.
Wow.
9. And he started it in lockdown 2 years ago.
Wow.
So we need to show what young people can do. We need to be
100%.
supporting the young people. You are on a journey, and we would really love, because that journey ain't been easy.
No, it hasn't.
People think, oh, look at him, he's doing this, you didn't just reach there. So what we'd really love, because obviously this is just a very short snapshot of your journey, we'd really love for you to be able to kind of take us through some of that, so that people understand, for you to get where you are, you've had to work
100%.
and work. And even with the knockbacks, not just physical knockbacks, you still, and just how
it's about belief, and faith, and knowing yourself, and it's kind of I wasn't going to, it wasn't if, it was when. That was it for me. It wasn't if, it was when. And when the opportunity came, I took it. And that's it. And it's kind of when you practice something like that every single day. I was a world champion before I became world champion, if you get what I mean.
Don't say no more.
Okay.
Don't say no more.
I'm done.
Reason being, let's hold some back.
Okay.
Let's hold some back for them. Because then people, they want to know the real. You need to reach on the 26th. Well, he hasn't confirmed it as yet. I'm like talking like he's definitely going to be there.
No, it is. I will have a check, and I'll get back to you straight after this. I will.
Shell's going. The show's normally half an hour. Finn is kind of, I think, somewhere. But sometimes this is what happens. We technically, I suppose, run over, but we kind of please ourselves a little bit. And there's so much more to this young man that I know I don't even know. I only found out yesterday he had a child.
If people can see what I'm doing, if you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. If you type in Jordan NJ Thomas, you'll find my tag. And I'll if you've got any questions or anything, just drop me a DM.
Oh, don't you worry, you're going to get bombarded. Don't you worry about that. You're going to get bombarded. And the fact that I kind of just want to just wrap this for now, purely because we're going to get you back, certainly if we can, International Men's, and certainly on a real talk show where we can talk more. The fact that you're going into schools and you're doing that, that's exactly where I can see. It's gold. It's gold. Cannot thank you enough. Can I be cheeky but not cheeky? Can we see Olive?
Yeah, 100%.
So for you guys that are watching and thinking I'm making this up or we're making this up, no, he's a dada. He's a daddy. And Olive. Oh my gosh,
Hey, baby.
she's divine. Olive
Yeah.
Etta. I think that is absolutely a wonderful name. What's your wife's name, Jordan?
Holly.
Holly.
Yeah.
Holly, congratulations as
Holly
well,
Thomas,
darling.
yeah.
Congratulations. She's absolutely beautiful. Hello. Do you know what? That's why I told you bring her on at the end, because no offense,
Yeah.
Jordan, you've just got pushed out, mate.
I
Just
know.
got pushed out.
You always take
Everyone's
the shine,
forgotten
don't
what
you?
you've said.
Yeah. 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 You're smiling.
See, that's what Simply Deez do, don't we, Shell?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, yeah. Thank you, honestly, for taking the time out, for coming on and
Thank
sharing
you.
so much with us
It's always
today.
a good chat. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Perfect.
going to be sharing obviously the information all about you, how people can get hold of you. 3rd of December, massive event. If all being well, you guys will hear even more if you come on the 3rd of December's event. 26th of November, International Men's, happening at Futures House. We are working in partnership with them for, I think it's about the 4th, 5th year. So we do appreciate you, Kathy, and all the team there. If Finn is still there, can we bring Finn back on? Because I don't know if he's heard. Yes, he has.
I did. I heard it all. What an inspiration.
Isn't it? Isn't it? See, that's what we do. We do linkage.
So is your project. Your project's great.
Oh, bless you.
Well,
thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Honestly.
Pleasure to meet you.
And you.
Incredible. We could go on. Jordan, Finn, if you could stay for just 2 minutes as we come off air, because we have been live for a little while, and we're going to come off now. So guys, please continue to share this live stream. Absolutely incredible. You will learn what is going on 30th of October, and that is going to be happening. It's not Alders. What's it called now?
I always get it wrong. It's either Alexander or Alexandria. It's 88 Dunstable Road, so the address hasn't changed.
Yeah,
near the football ground.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's
88.
right. We'll share that information.
Bless
anyway.
you. Thank you.
So from Finn and from Jordan and from Shelley, the producer, and myself, thank you all so much. And we'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Pleasure. Thanks, Dee.
Bye.